So I want to introduce you guys to a new family member. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you've already seen I hadn't introduced him to my channel yet, so let me do that right quick. This is Mr. Enzo Spaghettio. He's a boxer. He's 8 and a half weeks now. He's a healthy young man. He's a good boy. He knows how to sit, kind of stay. He loves to bite my beard and bite daddy. But yeah, I thought I'd introduce you. And of course Ace loves him. And he loves his mama, he loves his Ace, and he loves biting on his daddy. Ow, as you can see there. He's at the puppy stage. But he's good. He had some health problems when we first got him. But he's doing so much better, so just wanted to introduce you guys to the new man. He'll be big soon, you can see. I'll update this video in a little bit when he's bigger, and I won't be able to do this. Say hi, Enzo. So, this is episode 3 of Supercharging the Wagon. If you haven't been following along, it's gonna take a lot of work, but it's coming along really nice, and I made a lot of progress last night. So actually last night I started doing some routing for the header that I'm gonna build. Instead of sitting there trying to film and my thought process, I thought I'd just show you what it looks like and how I got there as far as like a CAD drawing. So I fabbed up a mock-up on SolidWorks, which I'll go over here in a minute, and I'll show you my actual steps on SolidWorks. This is what it looks like. So the supercharger is in place. It's not bolted down right now, but the bolts are slid onto place. It's all in place where it needs to be, where it's going to be for final position. I actually have the intake pipe on there as well that Andy fabbed up. Cut this tube down to size so you can see it here, if I can get it in focus. Cut this down to size where it fits this. The tabs line back up for the mounts on the bottom of the intercooler. So that's back where it needs to be. This is trimmed down just a little bit to bring this over, kind of like I was talking about in the last episode. But yeah, you can see the header here, what it's going to be doing. So basically all the collectors need to go around over here and route down to this hole here. You can get a little better view there. There's a shot between that motor mount and that intake mount. You can see it kind of there. That's what I'm aiming for. All 4 of these will go into a collector, which long story short, I ordered a collector from California last week and it was supposed to be here yesterday, but it never got picked up for shipment, so they ended up sending it back. So I had to order another one last night, so hopefully that one actually comes in next Friday. So I've got a little bit of wait till I finish up this. So what I want to do is just go ahead and get this thing tacked up and kind of in a position of where it needs to be and where I want to route it. And I'm really, really happy with the idea. So when I go to show you the SolidWorks model, I changed the routings of these 2 runners. I was going to have this one go to here and this one go over here, but it actually ended up working a lot better just do it like this. But as you can see, it's getting really close. Looking good. A lot of progress got done. So again, sorry not to show you the whole process of doing everything, but I kind of got into the groove last night and I just started working away at it. So in this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you the SolidWorks model. So let's hop over to my computer here in a second. But before that, I want to thank a big, huge thank you to a beautiful, beautiful man, Jerry. He actually, a story that you guys probably don't know that Jerry knows. My drone is named after Jerry. I named my drone Little Jerry because of him, because he loves drone work so much. He's so passionate about it. That's what you really need, some passion. Anyway, so let's walk over to the back of the wagon right quick. So Jerry is the man, and he noticed that one of my taillights is cracked a while back. And he hooked me up with this corner piece, and he actually gave it to me when I was at a Olympus rally last year. And I don't know if I gave him the proper shout out, so I just want to say thank you very much, Jerry. And he also noticed an Instagram post that this one's cracked also. And that's actually from the War Wagon. That's from Ben Huffman's War Wagon when I got stuck at his house. He tried to give me a little push with the War Wagon, and the stinger actually hit right here and cracked that. So it's kind of a funny story. But Jerry, being the man he is, sent me this. A perfectly nice, beautiful Stanley real wagon tail. Thank you, Jerry. You have no idea how much I appreciate you just doing that. And also, he sent Ace a present as well. He got a Hot Wheel, and he was super excited about that. So, thank you, Jerry. I really appreciate people like you, like huge. All right, enough with that. Let's hop over to the computer, and I'll show you the design and how I came up with this idea for the header. So this is the design I came up with. This is SolidWorks. I use this as quick SketchUp stuff, and I use it a lot of times when I'm trying to run an idea through my head. It's not dimensioned exactly perfectly. The important dimensions are there, like the flange spacing, how far down I need it. The supercharger is modeled to be right here. I didn't actually model the supercharger in, but I left those dimensions in to where I need to go around here. So with that being said, this is the original kind of design I had thought up in my head and I kind of played with. This runner was supposed to go over here, this runner was supposed to go over here. But like I said, when I showed you the actual one, you can see the runners I switched up where number 3 and 4 go. And it actually worked out a lot easier. I think that kind of ran into some problems because in SolidWorks I was having some problems with my 90s and the way this is all going, and I kind of rushed it together. And I really wasn't too worried about the exact routing of these, just the general idea of trying to get all 4 here and being able to get them over around the supercharger here. So that was the thought there. I think it turned out pretty good though. I really like working with SolidWorks because as being an engineer, I did this in school, and I just kind of, that's one of the reasons I want to get into school, to do stuff like this. So I was really happy to be able to have an application where I could actually use this to my advantage and plan things out. So if you guys want to see me actually build one of these, let me know in the comments below, and I'll actually go through and actually show you how I did it and how you can do it if you want to get into SolidWorks. The program's kind of expensive, but it's totally worth it because you can actually run flow simulation and all that stuff through here. In order to set up flow simulation to take a little bit longer, but I can eventually do that if I actually fully model this thing out the way I have mine built. But anyway, that's the design. That's kind of where the concept started and how we got to where we're at. So this video kind of sucks because I kind of worked myself into a corner where I actually got to wait on parts. But one thing I have been thinking about doing, if you've been watching my channel for a while, back in 2018 I actually made an exhaust for my wagon, and it worked just fine, but I didn't like the crossover. But now that I'm actually taller up, I think this design might be a good thing to go back to. So this is the old exhaust that I made. You can see the dents here. The crossover right here is where it goes underneath the drive shaft goes over, and I think it's gonna be okay. I may change up the muffler a little bit. I think I may actually put this back on the wagon after I get everything taken care of as far as header wise. Some more random notes. When I actually put this all together and I got this routed and mounted, that was actually, I put it up as high as I could because I knew that was going to kind of be a problem with this bar, but it still was hitting the bar. So what I did is I just moved this down instead of being mounted up here. I moved it down just to the bottom bolt hole, and it does allow it to rock, but what I'll end up doing is just welding on another plate back up here so I can bolt that other bolt and square it back up. Not really a problem, just kind of something I'm gonna have to work with. Not a big deal. And actually I did fit I tried to test fit the bumper the other day, and it'll work just fine. I gotta cut the crash bar course basically in half, and I'm gonna have to weld up some kind of support for the top of that. I don't really want to bolt it to the top of this because I don't want to have too many things to bolt this to. Being bolted to the bottom and the couplers and all that stuff will hold it just fine where it's at. So I don't want to overcomplicate it by that, but I do need to figure out something to do with the crash bar eventually when I go ahead and get ready to mount that all back together. So I want to say I really appreciate all the support people have had about the header design. I had a lot of people reach out on Instagram, Facebook, say how much they liked it and how much they really thought it was cool. I just want to share like a little side part. Building headers and building exhaust has always been like something I've always really wanted to get into. That's really the whole reason I started getting into welding more and started really teaching myself how to weld exhaust. That's always been something I really love. I'm like, exhaust porn is like huge to me, like just the sound of exhaust, just the way it sounds. I want it to be just right, so that's why I usually spend a lot of money on buying really nice exhaust. But lately I've been building my own, and I've been kind of tweaking with stuff and learning how to do some things, and that's kind of what I'm getting with this. I want to teach myself how to build a header. I've always wanted to do it. I've studied it a lot for years and years and years, and finally I'm trying to pull the trigger and say, all right, now's the time to start doing it, because I actually have a reason to make one now. I'm gonna give this a shot. Hopefully it turns out well. Obviously I'm not a professional, I'm not a fabricator at all, but I'd like to start dabbling in that a little bit. Hopefully this is kind of like the first step of like getting toward like a dash design or dash manufacturing. I don't know, something cool. We'll see where this ends up going. As you can tell by my stuttering, I'm kind of nervous about it because it's a new project. But that's kind of like, that's why you got to just dive in and do stuff, because you never know when you'll hit that niche and you'll hit that spot where it's just like, all right, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm really good at. This is cool. I'm really happy with that, but it wasn't necessarily hard. It's just a little bit of planning, a little bit of design stuff. We'll see where it goes, guys. So this weekend, I had money burning a hole in my pocket. I had a couple things that I was really interested in. I had one thing that always bugs me. So I have this, I don't want to call it a disease. I have a problem. I really do deep dives and I end up finding things that I really shouldn't. then I get anxiety because I can't go buy them. And I try to think of any way possible I can go buy it. Well, I did that this week. I found a Civic Wagon, an RT red one. Not tremendously far away, about 10 hours away. I got the guy talked down to a killer price. And I gave myself pretty bad anxiety thinking about it because I really want to go pick it up. But then again, I don't really need it. I decided to suffice myself. It was either going to be buy that wagon, save it for a rainy day like always, or go buy a TIG machine, which I really do need a TIG machine. I've been needing a TIG machine for years. No final decision's been made yet. The wagon may be gone already, which that's fine too. I think I'm going to go buy a TIG machine though. I think that's a smart idea. And it pains me tremendously to say that, but I need to make the big boy decision. I don't need another wagon, and plus it would be quite a bit more than the TIG machine, which I don't want to dig into savings, just go buy another Civic wagon. I'll get some more one day. I'll have my big wagon ranch and I'll have all the red RTs. And like I said, no final decision's been made, so I may still go get that wagon. Pains my heart. Like being a wagon guy, trying to save all the wagons. Just can't save them all. So again, thank you, Jerry. If you guys see him comment in the comment section, stop by and say thank you. His name is Da Buzz. You know, for the longest time, Jerry, I didn't know that was you commenting as Da Buzz. I finally put it together after he talked about some drone work on Facebook, I think. I remember thinking, oh, okay, that's Jerry. I know at some point I mentioned how impatient I am. So a couple videos back, I actually picked up this header. It was off a D17, like a 2001 or 2 Civic. It's pretty close to the same D-series manifold, or exhaust manifold, but it's a little bit different. The reason I really wanted this, it was an aftermarket. It was, obviously a cheap eBay one. It had some cracks in it already. But I kind of wanted to see what the collector would look like if I chopped it off. It was kind of a pain in the butt to get all in there, but get it all chopped off and it's good to go. I just kind of wanted to see what it looked like mocked up, kind of about where the new one will sit, and kind of see if I'm kind of pointing in the right direction. It'll kind of give me an idea of what I'm doing. My collector won't be this kind of merge collector. It'll actually be like a all 4 to a 2.5. I think I got the one with the V-band, so I can kind of mess around with that a little bit. I thought the V-band would be a good idea. I like V-bands. I'm a big fan of them, just because I can change them out easily and do whatever I want to with them. Kind of makes it more modular that way. So if I put the collector there, maybe a little bit lower, that's about where I want it. I'll have to move things around and probably bring it down a little bit. And then that gives me, it's a little like underneath. Yeah, that's about the pretty good spot. I can bring it down a little bit lower. But the more ground clearance, obviously, the better, because I got to put my skid plate back in, obviously, too. And the good thing is, another reason I want to cut this up is I actually may use it as a template to mock up, make like a weld jig and weld this in place and the exhaust manifold there. And that way I can kind of finish my welds and kind of aim them where they need to be. I don't know. I've got a few ideas for it. I just wanted to kind of cut it up because I have really not a whole else lot going on today with it. Another quick note. With this all mounted, it's close, and it's actually a hair too close for my comfort to the frame rail there. So what I'm going to do is when I take the Supercharger back out, I want to beat that frame rail to death. Massage it back a little bit, give it a little more clearance. I didn't think it was going to be a problem, but it actually is kind of close there. And that'll just give me peace of mind, and it'll make it a little bit easier to put the belt on and off. Besides that, I did fill up the Supercharger with Supercharger oil. I finally got that in. Some of it was a little bit slower than they usually have, but given the current circumstances, I really can't blame them. So I got that all taken care of. So that's full of oil, good to go. The goal of the last 2 videos is I really wanted to start it up and have a Supercharger belt on there and just get it to chooch, make a little whine, do its own thing. But without an exhaust, that really isn't possible. So until I get the exhaust finished, I can't give you guys a startup video, so that kind of sucks. So hopefully, maybe if things line up, the next video for the Supercharger build, I'll be able to start it up. But for this one, kind of lacking content. I just want to get you guys caught up where I got to, and I'm so happy with that. I'm so happy with that. Well, I know today wasn't necessarily content rich with building stuff, but parts being kind of slow and things not showing up when they will, that kind of screws up a project. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I guess some other big stuff in the works. Working on some more SolidWorks plans that I really can't divulge right now. It's not that I don't want to tell you guys, but I don't want to put things out there and then have people steal the credit for that and then start working on there and try to beat me to it. It's a pretty big deal. I think it's definitely a gold mine kind of project. It's going to take a lot of work, though. I'm reaching out to a couple companies to assist in some parts and some things I need. But this could be a complete game changer, not only for the wagon, but for independent cars everywhere. Like, it could be just that's the best I can really tell you. But I'm going to wrap this one up and go and play the end zone a little bit more. And I'm going to go buy a TIG machine because we get taken. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys next time.